A very good evening and a warm welcome to our first edition of UBC News Tonight on this fine day, which also happens to be my birthday, the 8th of August 2024. We do welcome you to UBC News Tonight. I'm Lauryn Masika Kazimoto, and we start off with our first headlining story this evening. A State Minister for Youth and Children Affairs, Atenyi, has announced that President Museveni will address the issue of incarcerated youth during the International Youth Day celebrations in Soroti on Monday. Balam made this statement while presenting on the upcoming International Youth Day in Parliament, where some members of the National Unity Platform questioned him about his efforts to secure the release of the detained youth. We have the details.
State Minister for Youth and Children Affairs, Atenyi, delivered a statement on the current status of the youth, highlighting the government's initiatives to improve their livelihoods and the achievements made in preparation for International Youth Day on 12th August. The focus will be on skills development to enhance opportunities for the youth.
Trained 3,982 youth from different districts of the country in digital literacy, skills under digitalization, Acholi enterprises for job productivity.
Some members of Parliament expressed concern regarding the success of the Youth Livelihood Programme, noting that the Auditor General had raised issues about unaccounted funds.
However, some amount close to 43 billion has not been revolved. So the Ministry of Gender must ensure that this money is revolved. This is according to the Auditor General's report, that the money was recovered, but it wasn't revolved.
But on the Gender Committee where we sit, this program was cut short of funding because it was non-performing. The funds that were given out to go and help the youth were all embezzled.
The MP from Mukono, Betty Nambozabachireke, asked the minister to update the House on the status of the youth who were arrested, as he had previously promised to secure their release.
I undertook before this House that we will see that as we commemorate the International Youth Day, how far has he gone on the issue of the release of the youth that he undertook to secure.
Speaker, many of these youth are in prison on charges of becoming a public nuisance. How I wish on this Youth Day celebrations, Honourable Minister, you listen to the plight of the youth to be released unconditionally.
It's a shame that we, the leaders, who should give these young people an opportunity to listen to them when they come out to speak about corruption. It is not about only corruption in Parliament. They speak about corruption everywhere.
Balam informed the House that President Museveni would provide guidance on this issue during the International Day celebrations in Soroti on Monday.
I issued a statement on Monday in Soroti. I had a discussion with the President just yesterday. I reminded him of his kindness, bail, but they were denied bail due to the conditions that were put in place. Just hold on. So the President has once again pledged that he's going to act on that. Let it be on record of Parliament. Those young people will get freedom soon.
Member of Parliament for Mbale City Industrial Division, Masaba Karim, emphasized the need for the government to examine the quality of employment that youth are engaged in, citing exploitation in industrial parks.
Many of our youth are being exploited. You find they're being paid about 5,000, 6,000 a day. They're working 12 hours. They are not provided with any PPEs, any health and safety. And yes, it's the bitter reality that is happening. And I've tried to look at the national employment policy, and not many of these things are catered for. So I believe we need this leverage. Is this one where your labor is exploited? Most of the investors, by the way, one of the factors, Mr. Speaker, why some investors would love to come to Uganda is because Uganda has the cheapest labor to offer. Uganda.
Other MPs appreciated the government's skilling programs but urged that it should be completed with providing sewing machines to help the youth practice the skills they acquire.
That has been always taken to the youth. It is always being eaten by the technical staff at the district. And most of these technical officers who are the youth focal persons, they don't even want to let the youth know how much the district has received. Rehabilitation centers for the people with the disabilities, the young people with the disabilities, are in very deplorable state.
I'm Nafka Farida and Gloria Gwetabinji at Parliament.
The Anti-Corruption High Court has for the second time dismissed the prosecution's request to play an audio recording by Uganda Human Rights Commission chairperson Mariam Wangadia, which allegedly captured 3 legislators soliciting a 5% bribe. In his ruling, Judge Lauryn Masika stated that since the witness did not extract the audio from the recording device herself, she is not fit to present it in court at this time. He emphasized that it's not yet the appropriate stage for the court to listen to the recorded audio. Details follow.
In the Anti-Corruption High Court, the court presided over by Judge Lauryn Masika is where legislators Yusuf Mutembule for Bunyole East, Sisen Namujumani Member of Parliament for Rengo District, and Paula Kama for Busiki constituency are facing charges of corruption. The legislators are accused of soliciting an undue advantage of 5% of the Uganda Human Rights Commission's budget for the financial year 2024-2025, which case they all pleaded not guilty to. When the case resumed for hearing, prosecution witness, Chairperson Uganda Human Rights Commission, Mariam Wangadia, continued with the evidence in chief on how she was called by Major Agaba Betty and the investigative officer, Ewan Chakwaire Betty, to watch the audio she recorded, while MPs were soliciting the 5% commission. Following this, prosecution asked court to allow the alleged audio to be played to court for identification by the witness Mariam Wangadia, although the prayers were objected by the defense legal team on grounds that the witness lacked locus.
My lord, the original form has not been exhibited in court. It was capable of being preserved in its original form, but the original format of the recording has not been exhibited in the court.
In delivering his ruling, Judge Lauryn Masika disallowed prosecution prayers on grounds that this is not the right time for the alleged audio to be played to court.
Both the Electronic Transactions Act and the Computer Misuse Act and international good practices require that care is taken when dealing with electronic data. The person presenting electronic data must follow the law, must be competent to explain, must ensure or demonstrate that the integrity of the data remained the same, and must keep a trail of the processes taken when managing such data. Those are the 4 principles of managing electronic data.
Judge Dudu also added that since the audio was extracted by another person from the recording device, the witness lacks locus to tender it to court at this material time.
She can only listen to a sound which has been properly processed and explained to court by other witnesses that extracted it and stored it. I should add that in this digital age, trials of this nature, especially regarding electronic data, which is always original in its form, expertise in data mining and data processing is required as part of the prosecution evidence. The High Court may at any stage call or recall and re-examine any person whose evidence appears essential to the just decision of the case.
After the ruling, witness Mariam Wangadia also informed court how the investigating officer Chakwaire Betty called her at Chibuli CID headquarters to identify the recorded CCTV video footage captured at Hotel Africana when the accused was soliciting the 5% bribe.
I viewed the footage and I was able to see myself in that footage. I was also able to identify
A1, A2, and A3.
Court resumed on 14th August 2024 for cross-examination from the defense legal team. Deborah Namamonde, UBC News.
Fear has engulfed members of Parliament in the Parliamentary Forum on Social Protection as they witness the rising high school dropout rates due to teenage pregnancies in Obongi district. This alarming trend has raised concern about the future of Uganda, where an undereducated community may emerge as thousands of teenagers in West Nile are leaving school due to teenage pregnancies and early marriages.
How many of you want to go back to school?
Poverty, poor parenting and cultural practices have been identified as key factors contributing to the high dropout rates among teenage girls and boys. These factors often lead to teenage pregnancies, which in turn forces students to leave school.
Yes, in our region, especially Obongi district, the level of poverty is really high. Sometimes it's truly hard for them to get all that they want from their parents.
Because these young ladies, they don't sleep with their parents. At night they sneak, they go to disco. Also, sometimes they end up drinking and they end up conceiving.
In Obongi district of West Nile, 3,551 mothers sought antenatal care in 2023-2024 financial year, of which 22% were teenage mothers. In the 2022-2023 financial year, the district registered 5,928 mothers, including 1,292 teenage mothers.
If we don't take this serious, we will register high rate of dropout. Definitely, a young girl, if she is pregnant, she may not come to school.
The sub-counties of Palorinya and Itula, which host refugees, and the Wafa in the host community, have the highest cases of teenage pregnancy.
Within the catchment of the facility, which is about 30,142, 20%, actual majority of them we receive here, the actually school-age really going children, and they have dropped out of schools.
Members of Parliament in the Parliamentary Forum on Social Protection are deeply concerned about the issue and are suggesting the enactment of ordinances and bylaws at local government level as legal tools to address the problem.
There must be bylaws and ordinances, but we members of Parliament, we need to see the viability of the current laws.
Really, I was crying when I saw young girls, 9, 12, saying these are child mothers. Recently, under the police recruitment exercise, these people were unable to send anybody from Obongi to join the police force because they all drop out. So if this trend continues, we'll wipe out a generation.
According to Flavia Kabahenda, chairperson of the Parliamentary Forum on Social Protection, there is an urgent need for government intervention.
We had not taken time to record that our children were beginning to deteriorate one by one, but the teenage pregnancies that we are registering now, if we are not careful, they are going to be hopeless children. If the government does not invest deliberately, we are going to have a hopeless citizenry, because the girl who produces a baby like her may not even have a chance to go back to school and pick up her education.
Drawing from educational policies in Kenya, Kabahenda is advocating for the Ugandan government to develop policies that encourage the reintegration of teenage pregnancy victims back into school.
Getting from Kenya, we need to come up with a policy that will compel us to reintegrate the child parents back into school. If it is not this academic, they can even go skilling.
The Ministry of Education and Sports is also encouraging these teenagers to return to school.
So you can decide to either go back from your previous school, or you can decide to go to another school if you feel you are uncomfortable from your previous school.
Joseph Odama, UBC News.
Members of Parliament from the Rwenzori sub-region have urged government to address the deteriorating condition of the Mitiana Mubende Chegegwa Chenjojo Road. citing its critical importance. The concerned MPs made this appeal during a meeting with the Minister of State for Rwenzori Affairs, Alice Kaboyo, at the office of the Prime Minister. We have the details.
One by one, the MPs described the Mitiana Mubende Chegegwa Chenjeja Road as a death trap and barrier to the country's development. They emphasized that this road is crucial for promoting tourism as it leads to Fort Portal Tourism City and beyond.
It is tourism now which is making a lot of money for this country. And there's no white or foreigner person who comes in this country without reaching Fort Portal City. And they pass Chegegwa, and they pass Mubende. So they die on the roadsides. For us who use that road, I used that road this morning, it is a disaster.
It is true for us, Vatoro, we take things lightly, we speak softly, we do what, but there are issues that we really need to come up as a group and address. Honestly, there is no way we'll make a follow-up on these programs when we are not notified.
The MPs also raised several other issues affecting the region, including the lack of compensation for people impacted by the Allied Democratic Forces insurgency in the Rwenzori sub-region.
But these people have never been considered for any compensation. At the peak of ADF insurgency, there is a chairman, LC2, who was killed, and the president reached there that day, the late Byaruhanga of Bondengoma Parish. And he made pledges there for that family.
State Minister Alice Kaboyo assured the MPs that government would address the issues they raised.
Those two, we should decide on what we are going to do about them.
Also
because these other people who got compensation, how did they get there?
The woman MP for Winyangabu District, also Minister of State for Gender, Peace Mutuzo, highlighted during the meeting that although the people of Toro are generally soft-spoken and rarely complain, they still need their routes improved for socio-economic transformation.
After we had allocated resources, after we had even benefited some resources, because I remember 100 million shillings was dispatched to each district to start implementation.
But there is totally no road. Where do you people pass? Every time I'm posting here on Rwenzori chat, you all go mute. It's like you don't pass that road. Where do you pass Muhumuzi? Where do you pass?
Norbert Kasurabo, the Commissioner for Pacification and Development at the Office of the Prime Minister, mentioned that despite budget cuts, there will be focus on education in the sub-region.
We want only to select, we have selected only the education sector. Then that we have a comprehensive, what are the challenges in our education sector in our area. Working to inform policy and future interventions is one area that we are focusing on. Then we are going to build 5 low-cost houses for civilian veterans. We have some people who contributed in the war and they are living terribly.
State Minister Kaboyo informed the MPs that our budget had been reduced from over 40 billion to 7 billion shillings this financial year, making service delivery challenging.
We had our own budget. Each department, each affirmative action ministry had their own budget. But now it comes in a pool and it is shared pro rata. And that, you know, for us, we have 43 districts.
The MPs requested a meeting with the President to discuss the development of the Rwenzori sub-region as soon as possible. The minister convened the meeting to explore ways to improve service delivery in the Rwenzori region despite the limited resources.
By first yes,
UBC News Tonight. The State Minister for Health in charge of general duties has raised concerns about absenteeism among medical workers despite the government's efforts to enhance their salaries to encourage them to return to their facilities and improve service delivery. The minister expressed these concerns while officiating the first South Central 1 regional joint review, which aims to strengthen health services at government health centers under Entebbe Regional Referral Hospital.
The Ministry of Health has mandated general referral hospitals to manage all health-related issues within their catchment areas, with joint review meetings expected to provide accountability for service delivery. Entebbe Regional Referral Hospital brought together medical workers from 5 districts under its jurisdiction to reflect on the performance of health facilities, celebrate successes, and identify challenges hindering proper service delivery. During the official launch of the 2-day engagement, State Minister for Health in charge of general duties Hanifa Kawoya Bangarana cautioned government medical workers about absenteeism at their designated facilities.
You reach a facility, there is no single doctor, but the patients are there. The wage is a very big issue. We say now do recruitment, like now we are happy that when the ceiling has gone up now to 1 billion, they have recruited 48. We are having shortages of specialists, but even the one specialist we have, do you find him available at a facility?
Kawoya emphasized the need for delivering quality services to patients and warned medics against engaging in corrupt practices, which are contrary to their professional ethics.
These are professionals that when they come into their field, they swear that they are chosen by God to serve. And for me, that is the emphasis I start with. They are chosen by God to serve, and to serve with a purpose. What is the purpose? To save lives.
The director in charge of public health care, Dr. Daniel Chabayinze, revealed that the ministry has digitalized all services, with medical records now being captured digitally to address the issue of absenteeism.
As we digitalize that all services are going to be captured using medical records which are digital, we are able now to see who has worked on how many patients, who has done the operations, and on which days. We also have biometric ways of capturing information, which has now shown that somebody has been able to work for a minimum of 18 to 21 days. So that's how our payment system will be capturing them.
Dr. John Bosco Nsubuga, director of Entebbe Hospital, stated that the hospital has developed greater capacity in terms of human resources to handle more cases referred from the 5 districts.
Then the other is issues of quality improvement. You know, quality improvement is now a very big aspect in service delivery, and the ministry is putting a lot of emphasis on the quality of care that we are giving to our patients.
It's my humble prayer we invest a lot in this hospital in terms of diagnostics, in terms of human resources for health, in terms of emergency services.
The joint review is expected to find solutions to the existing challenges in healthcare, ensuring a healthy community for economic transformation. Shaidat Nasaku, Sulaka Gugube, UBC News.
State Minister for Higher Education, Dr. John Chrysostom Muyingo, has urged the Central Scholarship Committee to consistently publicize government scholarships and ensure the public is well informed about the processes to access these opportunities. Dr. Muyingo made these remarks during the opening of the Central Scholarship Committee retreat at ICT Hub in Nakawa, which also marked the handover of the outgoing chairperson of the committee.
State Minister for Higher Education, Dr. John Chrysostom Muyingo, has told stakeholders from the Ministry of Education and Sports and Central Scholarship Committee members to publicize scholarships and educate Ugandans through various media channels about government education programs.
We need to uphold the highest standards of transparency and accountability. As we operate, I'm calling upon the highest degree of standards of transparency and accountability. This will help us build trust and ensure that our resources are used effectively.
Dr. John Chrysostom Muyingo was officiating at the retreat held at the ICT Nakawa offices. The event also served as a handover ceremony for the outgoing chairperson and the induction of the newly elected chairperson. The outgoing chairperson, Sam Kulova, advised the incoming committee to utilize media outlets to disseminate information about government education programs. He criticized those who politicize these initiatives.
In my experience in this committee, I think that we need to do a little more to sensitize the public on how bilateral scholarships are processed. It is information that is lacking there. Mr. Contractor, you consider, like when scholarships are declared, you consider a wider publication by now going to the radio station. You can make a news item on UBC so that the circulation is wider. I think this is the challenge that I am leaving to you.
The incoming chairperson, Timothy Sejoba, vowed to meet the expectation of Ugandans and address the challenges faced by students studying abroad on government scholarships.
That we need to start capturing stories. Being able to show that somebody from wherever it might be, whether it's Gomba or Karamaido or whatever part of the country, sent in their application on their own, is processed, gets a scholarship, studies, and comes back a professional. I think that's something that we should put our energies on.
During the event, both the outgoing and incoming chairpersons, along with committee members, were awarded prizes in recognition of their contributions. Marion Awori and Fred Kasibante for UBC.
707 have graduated at Cavendish University, Uganda, with a call for graduates to collaborate with the government in bringing the digital divide as they strive for a technology-driven future. The 13th graduation ceremony was held at the NAM Convention Center in Munyonyo, with the Minister of ICT and National Guidance, Dr. Chris Baryomunsi, as the chief guest.
The atmosphere was filled with joy and celebration as hundreds of graduates, along with their parents, guardians, and academic staff, gathered at the NAM Convention Center in Munyonyo for Cavendish University's 13th graduation ceremony. Among the graduates, Robert Chagulani, the president of the National Unity Platform, who received a bachelor's degree in laws. Dr. Chris Baryomunsi, the Minister for ICT and National Guidance, reminded the graduates that while graduation is an important milestone, it's just the beginning. He revealed that the future demands a determined mindset to tackle challenges and says limitless opportunities.
We want to work with you, universities, support areas of research and development so that we don't lag behind as Africa. We need to run instead of moving fast, to catch up with the rest of the world in embracing technology and making technology part and parcel of what we do as governments and as societies.
Dr. Oliver Saviti, the Vice Chancellor of Cavendish University, Uganda, also addressed the graduates, emphasizing the importance of perseverance and dedication.
Consider the impact you can make through excellence, innovation, and transformation. What unique contributions can you bring to society? How can you inspire change and progress in your chosen fields? Let this be your guiding light as you embark on your professional and personal journeys.
Balamba Rugahara, the Minister of State for Youth and Children's Affairs, congratulated Robert Chagulanyi on his achievement.
As I was coming in here, another brother of mine, General Moss, who's a CDF, also has congratulated all of you, the graduates. He's looking forward to working with you to make Uganda a better place. Let us love our country, let us be patriots. I congratulate all the graduates. I understand my brother Bob Wine is one of the graduates. Allow me in a special way to congratulate all of you.
Robert Chagulanyi expressed his joy, recounting the numerous distractions he faced during his studies, including challenges from the National Council for Higher Education and heated political climate.
This has been such a hassle. You know, my own challenges, the political career that you know is always up and down. I started in one university, the International University of East Africa. It was not accredited. I moved to Cavendish. Then 2018 I was taken to prison, and then after prison then COVID came. This course is supposed to be 4 years, but I studied it for 8 years.
The ceremony was presided over by former Nigerian President Dr. Goodluck Jonathan. One of the key highlights of today's graduation was the graduates have been challenged to translate classroom knowledge to bring about positive change in their communities. Crispus Adinitwe, UBC News.
You used to tell me that I don't make you happy. All that time you would be complaining. I'll call you every day, yeah yo, baby don't know.
You can now get all the Chibuzi out with MTN voice bundles. Call all networks, Kubei Dondoro. Buy a 25-minute voice bundle for only 1,000 or buy any daily voice bundle of your choice. Dial *100 *21# and select daily or use the My MTN app. When we talk together, we are unstoppable.
Do you need data collection services, data analysis and reporting, monitoring and evaluation systems? Then contact Mold Technologies, a professional research firm that has provided many organizations with timely research solutions for over 15 years. For more information, visit www.mt.co.ug or call us on 0704 913 399 or 0782 602 963. Visit our office in Kampala at Sayuni Complex in Tinda. Mood Technologies, your professional research firm.
Uganda, are you ready to kick things up to the next level? The Uganda National Lottery brings you Sports Take 10. Predict the results of 10 football games and win big. With tickets at only 500 shillings, join the fun and make your predictions count with Sports Take 10. Sports Take 10, your ticket to football glory.
Uganda National Lottery. Dream, play, win.
Participants must be 18 years or older. Play responsibly. The Uganda National Lottery is operated by Ituba Uganda and regulated by the National Lotteries and Gaming Regulatory Board.
Once upon a time, there lived identical twins who gave birth to beautiful princes and princesses.
Their mothers gave their babies' bodies a lot of care by applying on their skin with Baby Junior jelly.
So dried their chariots and everyone would admire their glowing skin. Fun fact, Baby Junior prevents diaper rash, dry and sensitive skin.
Moms all over Africa love Baby Junior jelly. Baby Junior's the skin. No more worries anymore. Boo, 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 boo. Baby Junior. Baby Junior.
Welcome back from the break. We're glad that you're still with us here on UBC News Tonight. I'm Lauryn Masika Kazimoto. Now, in more news this evening, the Minister for Presidency, Millie Babalanda, has issued a stern warning to resident district commissioners and their deputies who solicit rewards from contractors in their districts, closing a 3-day capacity building workshop for RDCs in the Acholi sub-region. Babalanda emphasized that such actions tarnish the president's reputation and that those found guilty will face serious consequences. Ediolwa reports.
We hope that this will significantly eliminate poor performance.
The 3-day capacity building retreat for RDCs, their deputies and district internal security officers concluded with a strong call to combat corruption within their districts. The Minister for Presidency, Millie Babalanda, represented the office of the President at the closing ceremony.
There have been reports of some of you who run to politicians and others in authority for protection when you fall on the wrong side of the law. I will not entertain misbehavior of any form, and I will not stop the responsible government agencies to investigate and discipline the staff for the crimes they commit.
She commended the RDCs for their efforts in combating corruption and maintaining peace and security in their districts.
You are supposed to mobilize the public to participate in government programs aimed at raising people's incomes.
However, she also highlighted reports of some RDCs demanding rewards from contractors and engaging in divisive political rhetoric.
The issue of encroachment in wetlands and forest reserves is high in this sub-region, especially here in Gulu. There are constructions going up in swamps in Gulu City and the other towns in the sub-region, including also farming activities in the wetlands. This is in total defiance of the presidential directive on preserving wetlands. Northern Uganda.
The workshop aimed to empower RDCs to ensure effective service delivery to citizens. Topics discussed included security, production and market sourcing, economic empowerment opportunities and HIV situation in the north.
And we are calling upon you to work directly with the people living with HIV.
In Acholi sub-region, Gulu City leads with the highest HIV prevalence at 11.3%, followed by Omoro district at 9.3%, both exceeding the national average of 5.2%.
We have commercial sex workers here, also long distance marriages, because people are working in the city.
And they don't fear HIV, they fear pregnancy instead.
All districts have district networks.
The Uganda AIDS Commission urged RDCs to use available media platforms to raise awareness and reduce the rising prevalence.
If I ask you people whether any of you knows these rural industry incubation centers where they are, some of you may not point me at any.
Reports also indicate that over 7 trillion shillings have been invested in northern Uganda through various affirmative actions, yet production levels have remained stagnant.
What is the Acholi program to supply and solve the problem of poverty? Because the market is there.
This should be done by popularizing the government's program and projects among the populace.
The President's representatives have a crucial role in strategically mobilizing communities towards socio-economic transformation. Edi Olwa, UBC News.
The Patriotic League of Uganda Youth League of the Acholi region has commended President Museveni for his achievements since assuming leadership in 1986. They made these remarks in Mbara City at New Pal Hotel during a press conference with journalists. We have the details.
Yes, that is it.
The Patriotic League of the Acholi region, led by Ainom Bruce, have expressed their appreciation for President Museveni's accomplishments, including implementing social welfare programs, strengthening Uganda's democratic institutions, and ensuring border security, among others.
President Museveni has implemented economic reforms that have led to sustainable growth and socio-economic development, with Uganda emerging as one of the fast growing economies in the world. The economy of this country is projected to expand by 6.0% in 2024 and 7.0% in 2025. In terms of security, the president has led a peaceful country since 1986, which has raised investor confidence, thereby attracting hundreds of foreign investors and foreign firms to set up multi-billion factories.
They acknowledged his efforts to combat corruption in Uganda, although they noted it remains a significant challenge.
There are growing concerns over his administration approach to corruption. As young people, we do not believe that even President Museveni or the opposition can fight corruption. The people around the president have literally taken him hostage, turning him into a state captive where they are now untouchables.
These youths have also thanked the president for allowing General Muhoozi Kainerugaba to be the leader of Patriotic League of Uganda.
Corruption has gone away from army. And here we quote from the Museveni in 2018. He said that I am very patient with the corrupt. But I know General Muhoozi Kainerugaba will not be patient with you. And we have witnessed it, General Muhoozi Kainerugaba is not patient with the corrupt. So we request President Museveni that since we already have our corruption fighter, General Muhoozi Kainerugaba, we have already seen that he can fight corruption. He is the real anti-corruption crusader. Not even Museveni or opposition can finish the corruption here in Uganda. Because the opposition is very corrupt. We have seen them swindling billions.
They believe that General Muhoozi is energetic and possesses the leadership skills necessary to uphold his father's legacy.
And I can assure you that time is 2026. As the young population of Uganda, we are committed to ensure Uganda receives the first peaceful transition of power of the president. And that is in 2026. Please, General Muhoozi Kainerugaba, please, Museveni, our interests are good to both Museveni, to both General Muhoozi Kainerugaba, and both to this great nation of Uganda.
What is taking place? We are right in the season. We are right in the moment where the hope of Uganda is in the son, the tested son, General Kainerugaba. I want to call upon everyone here that we cannot shy away when things are getting destroyed.
Uganda fire! Endiva fire! Our border fire! Uganda! Thank you for showing your fire! Has Nambole Stadium opened its doors once again? Fire! While you were warm up in it, you were the 12th player. When Uganda Cranes needed you the most. Fire! Through our famous wins against Tubakunda and our unlucky losses, you stood firm, supporting even louder! Now, as Uganda Cranes take on South Africa and Congo this September, South Sudan in October, and play our second legs against South Africa and Congo in November, bring even more fire! Because with your support, Uganda Cranes is unstoppable! Uganda Fire! Proudly brought to you by MTN, the #1 supporter of Uganda Cranes. Together, we are unstoppable.
Do you need data collection services, data analysis and reporting, monitoring and evaluation systems? Then contact Mold Technologies, a professional research firm that has provided many organizations with timely research solutions for over 15 years. For more information, visit www.mt.co.ug or call us on 0704 913 399 or 0782 602 963. Visit our office in Kampala at Sayuni Complex in Tinda. Mood Technologies, your professional research firm.
Uganda, are you ready to kick things up to the next level? The Uganda National Lottery brings you Sports Take 10. Predict the results of 10 football games and win big. With tickets at only 500 shillings, join the fun and make your predictions count with Sports Take 10. Sports Take 10, your ticket to football glory.
Uganda National Lottery. Dream, play, win.
Participants must be 18 years or older. Play responsibly. The Uganda National Lottery is operated by Ituba Uganda and regulated by the National Lotteries and Gaming Regulatory Board.
You used to tell me that I don't make you happy. All that time you would be complaining. I'll call you every day, yeah yo, baby dondolo.
You can now get all the Chibuzi out with MTN voice bundles. Call all networks Kubei Dondoro. Buy a 25-minute voice bundle for only 1,000 or buy any daily voice bundle of your choice. Dial *100 *21# and select daily or use the MyMTN app. When we talk together, we are unstoppable.
Welcome back from that break, and now onto the business scene. The Public Procurement and Disposal Authority, PPDA, of Uganda has suspended 16 farms from participating in public business and bidding due to the breach of the Code of Ethics in accordance with public procurement regulations. The Executive Director of the PPDA, Benson Turiamye, says several government projects are expected to be impacted, resulting in financial losses for the government. You have the details.
The suspension of these 16 farms follows recommendations from various local and central government procuring and disposing entities in line with the Public Procurement and Disposal Act of 2005.
Currently, we guided the entities that they must do due diligence on documents submitted by bidders. So in the process of doing the due diligence that is required, they established that these documents were not genuine. And then they submit them for us for further investigation.
The firms accused of breaching the Code of Ethics and failing to meet contractual obligations. The suspended firms and their infractions include Migmowen Consult Limited, suspended for 3 years for forging an advance payment guarantee and performance bond. Smishes International Consulting Group, suspended for 1 year for submitting forged bid security. Amanoneno Investments Limited, suspended for submitting forged bid security. Agano General Enterprises, suspended for 1 year for submitting forged letters of bid acceptancy and certificates of completion. Magiwa Contractors Limited, suspended for 1 year for providing forged bid security. Ideal Merchant Property Holdings Limited, suspended for 1 year for submitting forged bid security. Zema Savings and Credit Company Limited, suspended for 1 year for using forged bid security. Roysana Engineers Limited, suspended for 1 year for forging bid security. Jadero Constructions Limited, suspended for 1 year for forging bid security. Jadero Construction Company SMC Limited, suspended for 1 year for submitting forged bid security. Akida's Technical Services Limited, banned for 2 years for submitting unauthentic bid securities. Visible Investments Limited, suspended for 4 years for submitting unauthentic NSSF certificates. Abba Technical Services Limited, suspended for 3 years for submitting unauthentic certificate of incorporation. Karoma Uganda Limited, suspended for submitting unauthentic resellers authorization letter. Aman Industrial Tools and Equipment Limited, indefinitely suspended for failing to substantiate contract performance, resulting in a financial loss of at least $1.7 million.
We do our own verification. We go to the bank, get certified copies of saying this was a forgery, and by the time we come up with this decision. So now it is up to the CID office to take up these cases for prosecution as a criminal act.
All suspended providers are locally registered, and the PPDA attributes these issues to a loss of integrity, which hampers local companies' opportunities in public procurement.
The character, the integrity values, or lack of integrity values within some of these companies of ours. Because if you know that you have never done work in a certain entity, why do you claim that actually you did work and you want to forge that experience? Or you don't have the bid security and you want to forge a bid security.
These providers will be required to complete existing projects under strict supervision to minimize further losses. The PPDA also blames intermediaries for facilitating these breaches. The newly launched digital procurement system is expected to help reduce such infractions.
If there are existing contracts or existing obligations that they are executing with government agencies, they proceed and implement and complete those contractual obligations that they have currently.
Companies and individuals suspended will be referred to the Directorate of Public Prosecution for further legal action. After the suspension period, firms must apply in writing to the PPDA to be removed from the suspension list. Abdul Nasir Lobama and Rogers Kumagun for UBC.
The Minister of Energy and Mineral Development, Ruth Nankabirwa, has overseen the launch of the Internal Performance Contract (IPC) for the Nalubare Chira power stations and a projects guidebook at the plant premises in Jinja City. Since its transfer from ESCOM in April 2023, UEGCL has been operating the power stations, and therefore the IPC is timely, as UEGCL looks to sharing the plant's optimal functionality while ensuring its pivotal role as the country's least cost and base load plant.
The internal performance contract signing for Nalubare and Chira hydropower stations becomes the second UEGCL is signing since taking over the power dams from ESCOM in 2019.
The IPC, the internal performance contracts that you have signed today, I take it as a gift to me from you. And I want to thank you so much, because this is what I want to hear.
However, government's proposal to rationalize electricity generation, transmission and distribution companies is putting some staff in a state of uncertainty.
Just to be committed, temu manga manga, you are not going anywhere whether the contract is for 1 week. This is not a place to play with. The country will go back to darkness. Who would like to see that? Your soldiers fighting for industrialization, which requires generation for generations to come. So don't be afraid. I've already indicated to the Minister of Public Service, who is championing RAPEX, the rationalization program, that for me, you have to handle me carefully, because I'm handling a very sensitive service. I am having live wires in my hands. If you handle me badly, I can touch you.
The 50 megawatt Namave internal performance contract was signed in April this year. And just like it, the 70-year-old Nalubale hydropower station requires intensive maintenance that should cost government a tune of over 175 million euros to smoothly run for the next 30 years.
As we know, plants, whenever they reach around 15 years, you have issues of obsolescence. The factories that were there when the plants were commissioned have closed, and you need to update those systems. That is what's happening to Kira. It is 24 years, so we have reached that era where we need to do some upgrades that are major. Of course, we have a lot of support from the regulator. They have been supporting us, Madame Ziria and authority that have been supporting us to pass a number of monies that we're using in the investment. But you reach a point where you cannot do piecemeal replacements and updates. So that's why we are saying that as best practice all over the world, you reach a point where you have to reset the whole performance baseline technically for this power plant.
Some of the performance targets under this contract include improving stakeholders management, improving financial performance, improving operational efficiency and asset management, among others. Nalubale hydropower station marked 70 years of safe operation on 1st April 2024 since its commissioning, and continues to serve Uganda's energy generation demand as the government strives to see the total electrification of the country and business with the region at large. Wadulo Makanold for UBC Business.
Now into the world of sports. The National Rugby Sevens returns this weekend at Entebbe Wax Grounds. The tournament will rotate across 4 regions of the country, including the northern, western, eastern and central regions. Defending champions, the Pirates are ready to face the challenge.
The National Special Rugby Sevens circuit has been launched, with Plascon Mongers hosting the opening event this weekend. Pilots, the defending champions, aim to continue their dominance in a tournament that will be played across 7 circuits in 4 regions of the country. Plascon Mongers will host the opening circuit at the Wax Grounds, while Black Pilots will host the finale at Kings Park.
It's a privilege to host again this Sevens tournament, so everything is at stake. That includes the title itself, and yes, it is indeed another opportunity for us to go for the title, and it has been a while since we won a Sevens title. So over the years we've been, I could say, rehabilitating the team, and so we have new chaps in, and I could say this is the time to redeem ourselves, and everything is going to be put out there on that rugby field.
Heathens will look to dethrone the reigning champions, Black Pilots, and complete their clean sweep of the 2024 rugby season. In the women's series, 8 teams, including 6 core teams like Avengers, Kitgum Queens, Now Rapids, She-Wolves, Thunderbirds, and reigning 3-times champions Black Powers, along with 2 invitational teams, will compete.
Of course, for us, the Nile Special Series, 7 Series, has been like a traveling exhibition of rugby to the rest of the country. In our strategy, we use the series to grow the game and to move it around the country. That's why you see we've always opted to have a circuit per region. It is a chance to give the regions also a chance to get involved in hosting big tournaments and familiarize themselves with the big competitions. But for the players, it's also now a test of endurance and stamina. Remember, this is 7 circuits. A player is expected to play 6 or 7 games if they are to get to a final. So, and the competition level has been growing steady over the last 2 years.
The men's series will feature 16 teams, 12 core and 4 invitational. Now Boys has increased the prize money for the winners of each circuit, boosting the competition.
But we have actually stepped up the prize money for the circuit winners. So previously the circuit winners were winning 500,000. Now we stepped it up to 1 million shillings. What's the reason? It's in line with our theme as the brand, raise our game. So we are encouraging ourselves to raise our game, and not only is it the brand raising its game, we're also talking to the players to raise their game so that they can increase that entertainment aspect or give the fans something worth watching.
As Watoto Ministries celebrates its 40th anniversary, its childcare arm, Watoto Childcare Ministries, in collaboration with the Uganda Golf Club, will host a golf tournament this weekend to raise awareness and support for Watoto's Vocational and Technical Institute. At the launch event held last evening at the Uganda Golf Club, the ministry announced its goal to raise approximately 300 million Uganda shillings. Grace Joy Kemigisa with more.
The one-day amateur golf tournament is part of Watoto Childcare Ministries' 30-year celebration. This year's event aims to support the vocational and technical training of young adults by enhancing resources for Watoto's Vocational and Technical Institute.
And this tournament is geared to raising money so we can resource these amazing schools to produce godly citizens of Uganda, but also are productive. We want great plumbers, electricians, engineers and mechanics who are going to contribute to the economy of Uganda. Through this golf tournament, we'd love to raise about 300 million shillings. And this is about equipping our technical institute. We need lots of equipment, modern equipment, but also we need teachers and supervisors who enable us to ensure that we are equipping our young people to become skilled and productive citizens of Uganda. Our golf appeals to the corporates, and we believe that the corporates in Uganda and the middle class people in Uganda can also contribute towards this amazing cause.
The Uganda Golf Club is thrilled to host the event and contribute to this noble cause with hopes of engaging more people in the sport.
The goal they're trying to achieve, which is dear to the club, which is reskilling members of society through their vocational institute that they're trying to put up. We believe that the economy will benefit a lot from the skill that will come from the labor force that will be produced by Watoto. So as Uganda Golf Club, we decided to partner with Watoto and offer a platform for them to tap into the different networks and people here that can be able to help raise money to fund this cause. The tournament itself is going to benefit the sport in many ways. On the day itself, on the day of the tournament, we expect a huge turn-up of golfers to come, even further from this tournament, in the sense that Watoto raises over 3,000 children in their homes. This is a pool that we can pull into as a golfing fraternity to promote junior golf, which is very dear to our hearts as golfers, and try to bring up professional golfers in the future.
The tournament will also be supported by various partners including Uganda Airlines, Power FM, Suzuki by Sifao, UPA, Stanbic Bank, Rock Telecom, Onomo Hotel, Opportunity Bank, Equity Bank, Fairway Hotel, Pepsi, among others. The Watoto Golf Tournament is scheduled for Saturday 10th August 2024 starting at 7 a.m. It will be held at the Uganda Golf Club in Chitante, Kampala, and will follow a stable-fold full handicap format.
And with that, UBC News Tonight has come to an end, but do join us at 10 o'clock for our second edition. I'm Lauryn Masika Kazimoto. I'll see you at 10.